Hello, Chelsea and YouTube fans. We are finally back at the home. We got all the decorations behind me. We got the Portugal ball now back there. We only have around 24 days until Chelsea's first preseason game. I'm incredibly excited. I hope you are too. I assume you are. The World Cup has taken a lot of presence from Chelsea. So obviously a lot of Chelsea fans, including me, have not been thinking as much about the season. And that's why I haven't been uploading as much and focusing a lot on the World Cup, posting a lot of shorts on the World Cup. But we are here today to talk about Chelsea. And I want to do this early. We'll probably do it again right before the season starts after preseason, but I want to see how much my video changes from now until then. We're going to talk about the predictions of how I think Chelsea are going to be doing this year. We're going to talk into how many points I think Chelsea need to be achieving. We're talking about what place we need to be getting along with those points. Top goal scorers, top assisters, our best player, worst player, most improved, and then just overall who I think our team leader is going to be. So without further ado, we might as well get straight into it. I'm going to start with team leader under Xabi Alonso. And for team leader, since Enzo, I have no idea what's going to happen with Enzo, but either way, with all these transfer rumors, I think he's going to take a little bit of a back seat this season if he does stay, which it's looking like he's going to. And personally, hey, I really hope he does. I think he's a great asset. I still think he's a very phenomenal player. And he obviously still work very well into the team, especially now, seeing we might not get Granit Xhaka and Andre Santos might leave to United. So who knows what's going to happen. That's something I can speak on a little bit. Andre Santos, I don't think we should sell Santos unless we're getting like 70 plus million for him. There's no reason for us to sell him. And I know that. I think United know why would Chelsea sell him for any less than, who knows? I don't know how Blueco are thinking, but in my opinion, I wouldn't sell him for 70 unless he starts really wanting to go like Enzo. Because if he wants to go, you might as well sell him because I don't want players around who aren't going to want to be here. But it's also Man United. I hate seeing players go to a Man United when I want them to be here. I feel like that's pretty self-explanatory, though, obviously. Anyway, team leader, I'm going to say Moises Caicedo. Seeing what he's doing for Ecuador right now and pretty much carrying that Ecuadorian team, I think he's going to take a lot of that confidence. And we all know how good of a player he already is, but I think he's going to also take a lot of that confidence into next season. And I think he's going to be absolutely phenomenal under Xabi Alonso. I'm sure Xavi's going to figure out a way to get the best out of Moises Caicedo. It's not very hard to get Moises Caicedo playing well because it's Moises Caicedo. We know that. But again, seeing what he's doing for Ecuador right now, such a team leader, I think he's just going to throw it more into this season as well and just keep growing, improving, doing better and better. Again, with Enzo taking somewhat of a back seat. Reece James always being hurt, and I feel like even as a captain, Pochettino mentioned it to Reece James before that he's just, sorry about that, I accidentally turned off my mic. He's just not much of a true dominant leader that we need. Other players that could do it, maybe a Palmer, but I also feel like Palmer's too much of a meme to be captain. It'd be awesome to see him be captain at some point, but I feel like he's also not vocal enough. Maybe a Kowa could also be there for, honestly, a team leader. I think Kowa and Caicedo will be great along with each other, but I'm just going to have to give it to Caicedo here. Now, we're going to go into most improved player, and then we'll come back up to the points and stuff, and we'll work our way down. But for most improved, I'm going to go Esteval Willian, just because, so that might be a shock, but just because of last season, I feel like he was hurt a lot, didn't play all that much. And even when he did, he was great a lot of games. That goal against Barcelona, brilliant. The goal against Liverpool, thank you very much for that. It was a brilliant memory that I'll remember already for forever, pretty much. But I think he's still got a lot of potential to grow. Obviously, he's got a Ballon d'Or clause in his contract for a reason. I think under Xabi Alonso, with Esteval, I feel like a lot of our wingers can't really play in that cam position if he does play the 3-4-2-1. But I think with Esteval, I feel like he'd be very good at playing in one of those cam positions. On the right side, left side, him and Palmer can probably switch in between. And it doesn't look like we're really going to be signing anybody in those positions. And I don't necessarily want to, especially if we keep Enzo, because Enzo can also push forward and play that cam position. But with Esteval, I think he'll do great under that system. I think a lot of these players will. I think it would just work for this Chelsea team very well. But Esteval, again, he was hurt a lot. You all know there's a lot of potential there. I think it's pretty simple to say. I think he could be great. I think he could get double digits, goals and assists. But we'll kind of have to see. I have no idea. Besides Esteval, you could say a Cole Palmer just because He wasn't great last season. We know that. You could also say Levi Colwell, maybe a Reece James if he becomes fully fit this season. Haddo, maybe you could say like last year, but like won't necessarily be most improved because it's his first season. There's a lot of players that can improve, but there's also a lot of players that can get a lot worse. AK, so for our worst player, I wrote down all of our wingers besides Esteval. Gittins, Neto, Garnacho, I've talked to them a lot already this channel with improvements that really need to be happening this season. With them three, I just don't see a way they're going to get into the team. Maybe some games and like Carabao Cup games, easier games or whatever, maybe against relegation teams if we want to rotate. Xavi Alonso will play the 4-3-3 so we can get those wingers into the system, but maybe Neto can play a little left wing back here and there. I think he'd be decent defensively, but Garnacho, I just don't see him as being in that cam position at all. And I also just don't think he can play wing back because he can't defend. And Gittins, I feel like I don't know anything about Gittins. So it's going to be really interesting to see. I feel like with Gittins especially, Garnacho, we see might honestly leave. Neto, who knows? Still the World Cup we got to get through. Preseason we got to get through. Maybe Neto and Garnacho and Gittins will impress him. Maybe they won't. So then he's like, okay, might as well just cash in. Yeah, we'll just have to see with all them. Besides that worst player, you could even throw Josh Achimpong in there because I feel like I've talked on him before, not because he's bad, but just because for some reason these managers do not play him. So that could be detrimental to him. I'm not sure how that's going to work. Other worst players, you could say a Mike Pendez or even a Sanchez, just depending on who plays over who. That's also a really big talking point that I've mentioned as well. Worst players, who knows? Maybe Enzo, just because if he stays and all the stuff that's going on with him, who knows if he's really going to play along Caicedo, more pushed up. I really have no idea. You could also say Esteval could be one of our worst players, but really, I don't think that's going to be the case at all. I think he'll really improve under Xavi Alonso. Other than that, for my points prediction on the season, for points in place we can get together because we have to at least get champions. I think with Xavi Alonso, we should be wanting to challenge for the title already. Not saying we should win it, but at least most of the way through the season, we need to be there, especially with no Champions League football this year. We have to be up there. And I'll throw in the Carabao Cup games and the FA Cup games in here as a prediction. We have to be making a run in those competitions as well. Without the midweek football, it is so crucial that we make runs in those, possibly even win one of them. But going back to the league, I was looking around, and it seems like to get Champions League football each season, you get around 65, 70 points, because with fifth place, I'll most likely get European football because it's the Premier League. That seems like that's going to happen at least in 4 out of 5 seasons from here on out, as long as they continue to do that. So 75 points needs to happen at least. I would like at least 75 to comfortably be in there. Let's look at last season. So here, let me look it up. So in the 25-26 season, Arsenal won it with 85, City 78, United 71, Villa 65, Liverpool 60. So if Xavi came in this season and got a 75, we would have finished comfortably in third. And if we got 70, we would have finished comfortably in fourth. So that's a guaranteed have to. I would like to aim for 80 points, but I think we just need to be realistic in our first season. I don't want to put too much pressure on, and I'd rather my expectations be lower instead of, oh, Xavi's going to win us the Premier League, and then we get third place, and it seems like a fail, and then all this commotion happens. Get rid of the manager, get rid of the owners, whatever. We don't need any of that this season. And the owners have to give Xavi Alonso time as well. Now to finish off here, for top goals and top assists, for goals I said Joao Pedro. I think that's pretty obvious. Palmer could be up there. Esteval, I'm not sure just because, again, he's so young. I feel like he'll probably split time a lot. But I think Joao Pedro would be their top goal scorer, again, just like how he was last season. And for top assists, I'm going to go Cole Palmer. I think he's really going to turn around this season. So most improved, you could put Palmer up there as well. But you think Palmer's going to have a lot of assists to Joao Pedro. You could also say maybe Palestra, because I feel like, who knows, but I feel like in a Xavi Alonso system, Palestra will be great at being able to push up, and like Maldo and Frimpong, you have a lot of assists as well. So we'll on that. But for now, I just wanted to give a base on Premier League predictions. In about a month or so after our preseason, I'll watch this video back and I'll look at what I predicted, and then I'll maybe make some improvements on what I changed or what I predicted, and keep it simple like that. So I'll see you guys in the next one.